What's going on, my brothers, my peeps, and my sisters? Welcome to the Mental Health Show. My name is Shamika Samuels. I just hope that you enjoy your lovely evening like I did. The schedule was the schedule of the trains were kind of hectic, but I'm glad I made it here. I made it here, right? I just like I just like to say my bless up to my brothers and my sisters because I know that I got some great news to share with you guys, and I'm just gonna tell you this. I just found out that I'm 95% Jamaican, 33% Panamanian, and 1% from England. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have to learn my heritage to break to understand my mental health pretty well. So before we start the episode, I want to get to what we're gonna be doing with the mental health brand. So let's get into it. So coming soon, I'm actually doing a basketball wellness mental health brand, and it's a mental health Fight Fest production mental health brand, and we're gonna be. This is the logo that I'm working with for the production. So if you guys could see it right here. Oh no, not this one. Go down right here. So like this one right here. This is what we're working with for the promotion, So we're gonna be, doing introducing the mental health brand, and we're gonna be introducing it in a way of community, commercial is development, the production, product of a mental health building up music for people and to enjoy the developed music industry to build up Yahweh as building up our culture in the music industry. As we develop our culture, we learn how to you learn how to pray and build up your mental into Yahweh culture development. The stage of life stories. All my life I served as a Baptist. Now I serve as a Methodist religion. But be baptized and learn the power of Methodist pool of Yahweh. So this everything will be lit. Everything will that's the start of the what we're working with. So let's get back to today's episode. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the walls of understanding the universe in mental health. And the walls of understanding of the walls of understanding is what your religion is. I think mental health is about religion. It's about what you're most present about and what is your more opportunities. I think that I'm more blessed in mental health of believing in myself and believing in my culture and how my culture is divided into one position. I learned that thanks to Manhattan Neighborhood Networks, my YouTube subscribers went up by 2%, and we have been, learning how to develop in a state of mind. And I'm actually in October I'll be dropping my first ever Wellness in Motion basketball brand. It's gonna be a Wellness Motion brand. I'm gonna be coming here with my one of my logo shirts. I'm gonna be laying it on the table, and I'm gonna tell you guys about the designs and what we're gonna be doing with it. So yeah, so we're gonna be looking at our physical physical connection, physical conditions of what mental health is really about, and emotional mental health is about building up what our voice is and understand what is the world of universe of mental health. So all my life I serve as a Baptist, but now I'm a Methodist now. So be honest with you, I learned that the acknowledgement of mental is about thinking how you operate and how you build up your attitude towards one another. I think your attitude is about developing a skill. And I call myself developing a skill is to learn the obstacle course of mental health, is to build up what it means to divide our mental health state of mind. And learning about mental health is about believing in what are your truths and what is your weaknesses of your mental health. And it's like we develop a brand. I develop a label. We develop Fight Fest Production. This is what I named the Fight Fest Production music label, and it's more like a mental health label where we relax our universe and how we build up our knowledge. And this is what we do. We build up our knowledge by expressing ourselves in a different position. And I understand how we develop and how we grow, and how we grow is how we develop. And I think what the growth of it is that we have a kind of relationship that's conflict, and the conflict of relationship is that like the message on Sunday, like I was listening to the message on Sunday, and the pastor was talking about you got to set some boundaries and be disciplined and set the time for your relationship and put your problems aside so you could focus on what you're working with your relationship. I think people are entering in people's business because they're not looking at their relationship differences. They're looking at more of the consequence of the media. And we have to set outside the media and put the time into your relationship so you could be better and so you could be able to understand the preposition of why are we fighting for mental health and why are we developing in a different state of mind. And some things we have to understand and learn is that mental health is about growth, it's about building. And you know how I lost weight and how I developed my weight loss is that I was 290 pounds, now I'm 210. And to be honest with you, you look at my weight as a success. You look at my weight as a journey. And some things you have to understand is that as a heterosexual man and as a heterosexual person, I tell people you have to respect me as a heterosexual man and not disrespect me as a person. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like when you don't discipline yourself and don't mind your business and what your relationship is a more like it's more different than your physical mental health. I was talking to my brother friend on my Bluetooth, and I tell my brother friend that people need to mind their business. Whatever I'm talking to my friends about is between me and my friends. But sometimes people that live in my building, they so damn nosy. They want to listen to everybody's conversation, and they don't need to know. They need to know when to stay in their place and understand to mind their business. And that's the issue right there. And sometimes the world of understanding is that the universe and mental is about physical reaction of how your mental is. And I think that when we look at the walls of mental, we look at the walls of Yahweh, and I think that that's what it is. Our lifestyle is more about Yahweh lifestyle, And some people want to serve Yahweh. Some people that feel comfortable researching different other relationships and different other religion relationship. But I feel like the relationship that I want to be as a heterosexual man is a Yahweh relationship. I think that more methodological relationship, because I feel like if I'm in methodological relationship, I more feel like, okay, I believe in the Bible. I believe in certain type of things, but in my lifestyle, I more believe in culture. And this is what it is. It's about having the kind of relationship that conflicts certain things. And I have to discipline myself. And sometimes when you discipline yourself, you're more active in your life. You're more being, you be, you more be active in how your disability is and how the lifestyle is. And certain time your lifestyle is more conflict in a relationship. And it's like what my relationship is about building up my structure bonds. It's all about being able to understand the truth of how we grow and how we our physical appearance is how we do certain things in mental. And I think that that's the thing. A lot of people don't really a lot of people don't really get it because they more understand the focus of it and they don't get where we're coming from as a state of mind as mental health. I think it's more like building. It's more like being able to understand certain type of visions and being able to understand the personality of it and understand the walls of it. So I'm gonna read you what I wrote on my today's episode. And first of all, before we read it, I just want to take some time for those of you who were helping my mother out. I just want to thank you for helping my mom's out. I want to thank Kiana and her husband for helping my mom out with certain type of thing. I also want to thank my dad because my dad became a lifesaver. I call him the banker. I call him the banker. I said, I just want to thank him for everything he have done. I know he was not a part of my life now, but now he understands why, I want to do what I do to make it in the world. I just want to thank my dad. I love you, Dad, and I really do appreciate you every day of my life. I really do love my father. So it's like I don't have no, like I told my mom, I have nothing against my dad. I always love my father, and it's like even though we don't have that type of good relationship, we working on fixing our relationship. It's like I learned that I have a dad, and I have a dad that would love me for me and not judge me. You feel what I'm saying? And I just feel like he didn't like the way our people treated me, and I just want to thank him for helping me out in a way that he didn't have to, but he had to do it because My mom's needed the help, and I just want to thank him for that, and I really do love my dad. So that's all I got to say, for me. Yeah, yeah, I do love my dad, and if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be here. So my dad and my mom, both parents, it's not one parent. It takes two parents to create me. You know what I'm saying? Two parents to create me. So I just want to thank my dad for everything, and that's all that matters, and one of these days I'm gonna send him a thank you card. So yeah, yeah, keep watching out for the thank you card, pops, because they know I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna give you a gift of life. You feel me? I'll give you a gift that I really appreciate. That thank you to appreciate. So I'm gonna order a shirt for my line. And I'm gonna give it to him as a gift. For his for I'm gonna make it up for his birthday. So yeah, I'm gonna make it up for his birthday. Actually, yeah, his birthday's coming up. I'm gonna make it up for his birthday. You feel me? All right, so. Yeah, his birthday's on the 6th, so I'm gonna make it up. His birthday's on the 5th, but I'm gonna make it up to him, all right? So yeah, his birthday's on the 5th, I'm gonna make it up to him though. So yeah, thank you for helping me out, and thanks to Kiana and her husband. You really did step in and help out as when my mom was struggling and with the bills, and they came as a lifesaver to me. So I want to thank Kiana, and coming soon I'm gonna give her something to thank her, because if it wasn't for her getting me in the digital film academy, it wasn't her for getting me into certain things I love, and it wasn't for her to get me to help me out and guide me in my education, I wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank her. So thank you, Keanu Charles, for everything you've done. And thank you to your husband, because your husband was a lifesaver. He gave me that. He gave me the pep talk. So you feel what I'm saying. So thanks to him that he gave me the pep talk. I look nice. I cut my hair myself, and I put myself together for the show. So thank you for that. Thank you for the pep talk. It really appreciate what you've been doing for me and what you've been accomplishing in your life. So I just want to thank you for that. So let's get into the episode. All right. The walls and the all right. So I'm gonna read you to it. The walls of acknowledgement in mental is what you think and how you operate, your attitude towards your body, how your diet affects your mental health. What are your benefits that you have to affect your physical mental health? Is fighting an addiction that affects your body, that about your body to go into shock. The walls of understanding of the patterns of your body is what is the level that affects your physical condition. The walls of understanding the structure of the universe is making a commitment to change your physical appearance and environment. As for me personally, I changed my physical appearance and my sexuality as a heterosexual man to avoid having relationship any kind of relationship conflict between my family members, especially on my dad's side, my father's side of the family. So I'm gonna critique this a little bit. So let's critique this. So I'm gonna critique it a little deeper. 'Cause I know a lot of people want me to go deeper, so I'm gonna critique it a little deeper. So mental health for me is a physical appearance to me. Like some people don't understand my vibe. When I come on the show, I like to be calm and cool, and I like to stay in my mental health yoga. Before I came here, I did my yoga meditation. Oh yeah, before I came here, I did my yoga meditation before I came here. And when I did my yoga meditation, I understand that I realized that my life is about taking the time for myself and putting the time and the effort for myself to build up my mental health in a way of thinking. Some people don't realize that you're going through a stage in your life that you're putting together certain things that manifest in your mental health. And my birthday is in a month. I think it's a month ahead on the 27th, and I'm actually gonna be doing a special birthday episode. So yeah, I know. Yeah, so I'll be celebrating 33 years on this earth. She 34. Oh, 34 years on this. I think yeah, 33 or 34. 34 years on this earth, and I feel like I'm blessed to understand what it is to be 30 in my 30s. And mental health wise, I feel like in my curriculum, everybody asks me this question, and I'm gonna really answer it. So everybody asks me this question, and everybody want to know the truth about myself, so let me answer it. Everybody asks me, would you how would you feel getting married to somebody someday? And I'm gonna answer it. I think marriage is about step is creating balance. I think balance in a marriage is creating balance as far as creating myself and putting boundaries in my marriage. And I think boundaries in your marriage is good because you allow yourself to take the time out for your wife and spend time with your wife for you to be holy and righteous in your marriage. I feel that the universe in mental health in your marriage is about understanding the balance and the battle rhythm of that relationship. And I think balancing out one thing is to put together certain things that maintains your relationship and how you guide yourself and how you protect yourself through the negative. And I know a lot of people have to be negative about relationship, but I think that the only thing that will help me grow is for me to build up my life and to focus on my health for me to be productive and proactive in my faith. And this is what it is. My health, my mental health, self-esteem is for me to grow. It's for me to believe and build. And the one thing about it is to know that when I understand myself and mental health, it's about growth and building up my life. And this is what it is. My life is about structure. And how I structure myself is how I build my stuff. And this is what it is. I just think that the structure of it and my lifestyle of it is about putting the patterns and principles together for me to grow. And this is what it is for me to grow in my mental health. And I think following fighting an addiction that I was going through, and this October will make it a year that I came out as a heterosexual, and this October will be 6 years I've been sober of my addiction, and I just think that when I look at my life and I look at what my mental state of mind is, I look at the patterns of principles of what my family members will accept me as. I told my family members this. I told my family members this. I said I'm gonna marry a woman whether you like it or not. And if you don't respect my sexuality, then you could go. You know what I'm saying? You could leave. If you don't respect me as a person, you gotta respect my boundaries for me to grow. You gotta respect my boundaries, and I gotta discipline myself, and I gotta put my family members on disciplinary academic probation. Because let me tell you, the academic probation. Because I feel like if I'm not disciplined in my spirituality, if I'm not disciplined in my mental health, then I won't be disciplinary in myself for me to grow. And this is what it is. So I said to my family members, I said, I'm gonna marry a woman, whether you like her or not. If you don't like my decisions, then you could leave. I will put you on disciplinary academic probation because I feel like you're not respecting my boundaries, you're not respecting my lifestyle, and you're not accepting me for who I am because you feel like you're gonna plead the blood against me for certain things. It's not about the argument, it's about disciplinary and setting aside your doubts and your negative vibe and put the positive vibe into that relationship with your family members. But sometimes your family members are not open minded for you to accept that because you're looking at. I said to my uncle in Jamaica, I said, I'm gonna marry a woman if you like her or not. If you don't respect my decision, uncle, then you could go. Then I'm gonna cut the conversation. I'm gonna hang up the phone on you. I'm gonna cut the conversation because I feel like if you don't have respect for me, then I'm gonna not have no respect for you because I feel like you're not believing in yourself to understand that whatever my lifestyle is, that's on me. That's between me. But you gotta respect my boundaries and respect my space for me to grow. How I could grow in my faith, if how I could live and how I could divide the two. But I feel like we can't do that because you have to understand what it is to create the tool of your own life. And this is what it is. The tool of life is about living and dividing your lifestyle. And certain things that divide my lifestyle is about building up my creativity. And build up my creativity is like this. You learn that one, you could fix your life differently. Number two, write this down. One, you could fix your life differently, and number two, you could change your way of thinking. And this is the thing. I tell people, I said to the brothers, cut your hair, do your style, make your life better, fix yourself. But the thing about it, when you don't fix yourself properly and when you don't put yourself together, you're not gonna learn. And if you're not gonna learn, how you gonna learn if you're not building up your mental health in letting your body go into addiction, into shot that you're not supposed to get in your body in. A lot of people don't realize that your lifestyle and what you're going through is a cycle. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't build up my cycle and if I don't learn how to understand my mental health differently, I'm not going to understand it per se. But the thing about it is, if I feel like my lifestyle is different, and if I feel like I gotta set boundaries, I'm gonna set boundaries, and that's what it is. I gotta limitize myself from people because people have to be. Some people sometimes will be negative to you, but you gotta limitize yourself and understand that when you set boundaries in the relationship, you gotta set it in a way of thinking, and you gotta set the way of living. And sometimes your lifestyle is one of it, and sometimes when you live the lifestyle, it's about choosing your voice and how your voice is. And sometimes when you choose your voice, you gotta make your voice and your lifestyle differently until you prove yourself into what it is that you are good benefit yourself on and that you are good enough for. And I think that's what it is. But you can't build up yourself to have common ground unless you learn how to fight the battles of your life. And this is if you have to learn that. Because if you don't learn to fight the battles in your life, you gotta know how to discipline yourself in mental health, and that's what it is. It's about disciplining yourself in mental health, and this is what the confusions come to because you're not disciplining yourself. You're not learning how to factor your life in a different perspective, and this is what it is. And this is the tool of your own life. So let's continue. Um, let's continue. As a heterosexual man, finding common ground where boundaries have to be set in terms of what they are supposed to allow and what isn't necessary. As a heterosexual man, I have to commit myself to Yahweh that created me into an equal partner who will set aside all addiction and follow my Yahweh steps. Right, Yahweh steps. And the power of communication is how we connect and communicate and grow together and create a bond and an agreement that could be kind to others and not be disrespectful towards others and direct my path of being faithful towards my mental health and practice my tools to help others grow. It is important to make a commitment to do the right thing and promise to stay pure until marriage. And that's what it is, you know. But the universe of mental health is for me to stay pure in my relationship. I could grow in my life and I could create certain things in my patterns and principles that I could believe in myself for. And then sometimes when you believe, you grow. And if I grow in certain things, I will learn for a fact that the importance of me being sober and me being sober minded in my mental health is that I have to learn how to follow my right path and my mindset. And it's like we grow in the principles of life. We grow in connection. You know what I'm saying? So when you connect yourself, you grow in that feeling. I could tell you the truth about it is that when you make a commitment to do something, you do it. But sometimes you gotta set a space and boundary for your own actions. And sometimes you gotta put the time in your actions for you to grow. And when you grow, like let me say, when you grow, it's about the key of life. And the key of life is that you're stepping into you're stepping into your character. And I think there's a quote that said I could do all things, and I'm gonna do all things through mental health strengthens me to do. And sometimes when I do all things, I gotta understand the universe of mental, and I have to do all things through mental health stated in my curriculum, and I'm gonna do it as fighting the devil that is attacking me of my mental health. I gotta fight these people that's trying to put me down. And for me to be sober minded in my mental health, I gotta fight the devil that's trying to put me down. And it's for me to do all things through my mental health. And there's the things that you have to understand. Certain things that you do in your mental health is about building up your creativity. And this is what the creativity is. I tell Buzzman all the time. I said, listen, sometimes you could hate the play, but you can't like the game. Sometimes when I tell you to do something, you gotta learn how to do it because as a parent, I know. But as a parent, you have to understand how it is to learn and understand the feeling of being a parent. But a parenting is about respecting boundaries and respecting your space of life. And your lifestyle is about delivering yourself into different culture. And this is what it is. It's called culture of understanding and to learn how to believe in what yourself is and how you divide the peace of mind. And your peace of mind is for you to learn that your body image and your body language is about culture, and it's not that you're fighting to avoid something. You're fighting to protect something that you need to give thanks for. And at the end of the day, you have to understand the tools that help others grow. And I tell people, stop being involved in other people's parenting skills and focus on your own parenting. And sometimes when a parent is disciplining a child, you need to understand to stay out the parent parenting so we could discipline the child in a different what positive way. But the thing about positive is for you to understand the negative of it. If you to understand the negative, you have to be able to be positive. And this is what it is. Positive in your life is about creating your boundaries. And whatever your space of mind is for you to learn. And for you to learn is for you to better out yourself. And that's what it is. You got to learn to better out yourself for you to believe in what you're achieving for. And that's what it is. Now let's continue. For example, if you're making a commitment to do something with somebody and you aren't committed to do something that isn't easy to do, then leave the relationship and do the right thing to quit your habits that you do is telling lies and stealing or and steal and cheat in the relationship. The agreement of being faithful to each other is letting someone talk and you listen. Exchange your vows as a commitment to marriage. And this is what it is. And this is what it is. You gotta commit yourself into marriage. If the person's not ready to commit themselves, sometimes you have to leave things alone for you to build. And this is what it is. And when you leave things alone to build, you learn how to believe in your tools of life and to build in what it is that you're building. And that's what it is. And for you to is for you to levelize what are you doing and committing yourself into what your mental health. And this is what it is. I know how to commit myself and to set aside goals that can make my mental health sensational. And to set my goal is to for me to levelize my state of mind. And it's like my state of mind is for me to grow. But if I don't grow, I'm not gonna connect myself. If I don't connect, I'm not gonna grow. And sometimes when you don't connect into your mental health, you're not going into the breathing tool of your life. You gotta know how to deal with certain type of things that is maintaining for you to do. But it's like, yo, I'm listening to what it is to commit myself. And I gotta put myself in, write this down, discipline. No, write this down, discipline. You gotta put yourself into discipline. Because once you're disciplining yourself in your mental health, you gotta learn how to divide into your disciplinarian. You gotta know how to talk and you gotta know how to listen. And sometimes when you talk and you don't listen to what it is that your disciplinary yourself is, it's for you to grow. And this is what it is. The walls of the universe of mental health is to for you. Number one, discipline yourself. And number two, and oh, you want me to go back? Number one, discipline yourself. And number two, keep your boundaries into your what levels. And let me say that. Keep your boundaries into your levels to allow your levels to grow. And this is what it is. When you grow in your mental health, you have to allow your battle rhythms to grow for you to be successful in your life. And sometimes your life is about learning. It's about putting together your tools to believe in what it is that you're more grateful for. And this is what it is. I could put my tools in and I'm going to learn it. If I put my tool to respect a person, I'm going to learn how to respect. But you got to learn how to build up your tools in the right direction. And this is what it is. Direct your life into a what? State of mind. And when you direct your life into building up your empire, you gotta learn how to develop it, and you have to learn how to your mental health is. And this is what it is. But you're building your commitment to make sure you're not doing what you're not supposed to be doing. You're building up your commitment for you to learn how to fix a situation that's not in the category. But if I could fix something in my life, it's for me to build up and direct myself into the right pathway. And this is what it is. In my mentor, I have to learn how to set aside my doubts for me to be sober. But if I set aside my doubts, I gotta learn how to be able to question myself in committing myself into the right pathway of my own life. And this is what it is. It's about being able to commit yourself into the right path of your own life. And this is what it is. I could tell myself that if I commit more, I'm more building up, I'm more breaking the walls of my mental health. And sometimes you got able to understand your mental health is for you to build up the walls of, you have to break the walls down and build up a newer wall that could correct your mental health to strive. And this is what you're striving in. You're breaking down the barriers of that mental health for you to build. And it's like a lot of people bowing down to me. I said, stop bowing down to me because I'm not a prophet or a pastor. I'm an entrepreneur. That's a lifestyle in mental health for me to build. I tell people, stop bowing down to me. Because I'm not no pastor. I'm not no prophet. I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching to nobody in America. But I'm gonna be a lifestyle entrepreneur to teach something to spread awareness about mental health for you to learn and for you to understand certain things in your lifestyle and in your ability to grow. But if I grow in my character, I gotta know to set aside my doubts for me to grow in my spirituality. And that's what I have to do, set aside doubts. Some people could be negative and they're not setting doubts. Some people could be positive and they're not setting doubts. But the thing about it is, when you're committing yourself to mental health, you gotta commit yourself into the right position of your own life. And this is what it is. You can't listen. You can't go feed the pudding without breaking the values. Let me say that one more time. You can't feed the pudding without breaking the values of your own life. You can't feed the dumpling and ackee and banana to get your life together. You got to able to make a commitment to what? Be sober minded and to be pure with your lifestyle. And this is what it is. If you to correct yourself into a pattern and principle of your dividing of your own lifestyle. And this is what it is. But you're taught about say, me go do this, me go do that. No, it's for you to build up your own creativity and for you to divide yourself into your culture. And this is what it is. I could say my culture is about building and expanding. Yeah, it is. And I'm expanding the mental health brand. I'm gonna expand it to a way of build up my friend. Sometimes I could own a studio like this someday. But listen, I tell people sometimes I could own this studio someday, but I gotta put in the work. For me to own something in life, I gotta what? Put in the work for me to commit myself. And that's what you have to do. Put in the work and values and correcting the values of my mentor. And sometimes you have to understand you can't be committed to certain things in your life if you don't what? Put in the work and your values. And this is what it is. You got to put the work in your values. And Kiana Charles was sharing it with me. And she said, when you don't put the work in your values, the way how you treat somebody, you're gonna get that same result back. You know what I'm saying? Let me say that again. The way how you treat somebody, you're gonna get the same result back. Because if the person treats you like crap, you're gonna get the same result. If the person treats you like shit, you're gonna get the same result. Because certain things in your life, you gotta understand the build and divide your tool of your way of thinking. And sometimes your culture, it comes by dividing your space and divide your mind in a different state of mind. And this is what it is. It's about learning your culture. It's about dividing your state of mind and how you grow, right? And how you deliberate. And this is what it is, right? So let's get into it. All right. All right. So we did the example. Did we do the yeah. So the commitment of mental is for kids to sign a commitment not to take drugs as a loan agreement to that vows you to keep your commitment into practice. Mental health is about trusting your heart and the acceptance of Yahweh into your heart as a commitment. I tell people, trust your heart, you know? And I said to people, I'm not a pastor or a licensed therapist to tell you how to run your life. Let me say that one more time. I'm not a pastor or a therapist to tell you how to run your life. You gotta learn how to set boundaries and put yourself in a position where you got to know how to stop telling people how to run your life and start doing the right thing and making choices and changing your life differently. I tell people I ain't no pastor to tell you how to do certain things, but I could be specifically tell you that I'm not gonna tell you how to run your life. You gotta discipline yourself and set boundaries for your life. Let me say that one more time. You gotta be able to stay disciplined to set boundaries for your life. And that's what you have to do. Set boundaries in your life for you to grow. You gotta set aside all the negative doubts and put the positive in it. And this is what I say. Put the negative aside and put the positive doubts in, because your negative vibe is not going to get you anywhere in this world, but your positive vibe is going to get you somewhere. Because if you're not creating your status into your right mind, you're not going to be creative at all, because you're not going to learn how to be significant in your own mental health. You're going to be acting dumb and stupid for this. Like, no, you're going to be positive and learn how to levelize your life in a different way. And the different way is that stop talking about yourself in the third person. You got to know how to believe yourself and to benefit yourself in a different way of life. And this is what it is. You gotta understand how to believe and difference. Set aside the negative. Put the positive in. For you to be grateful of your own curriculum, you gotta set aside your thoughts and put your thoughts in a what position. And I said to people, one of the things that you gotta understand, I said to people, why I come with a haircut? I actually cut my hair myself. Be truthful. I cut my hair myself. Before I came here, I was in my house doing my mental health. I was doing my little aromatherapy. And I love to do my aromatherapy. And I put my cream on. And I clean myself up. Line up my front. Shaved off the side of my head. You know why? Because my mental health is for me to what? Accept myself in a different positive way. And certain things is about acceptance. And no, let me say acceptance, because when you accept yourself, you gotta learn how to present yourself in a different character. And it's like characteristic is positive vibe. And I'm not gonna run. I'm not listen. I'm not gonna roam down the block on Gun Hill Road saying I'm a pastor. No, I'm not doing that. No, we're gonna rebuke that. Cause I'm not no. I tell people stop bowing down to me because I'm not a minister. Stop bowing down to me because I'm not no prophet. If you wanna say preach whatever, and I'ma teach it something. But I'm not no prophet gonna say, oh, no, not that. No, we're not gonna go there. But no, I'm gonna tell you this. The significant and more important sign the oath of agreement of your faith is to someone that perseverance agreement that loans you the rights to your universe of mental health. It's gonna loan you the rights to your universe of mental health. And sometimes when I serve, like sometimes I tell people it's not about religion. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not about religion though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I share this on the interview. I did a 10 wins interview, and I was talking to the radio producer, and I said to the radio producer, it's not about religion that saved my soul. It's about the mental health of my universe that saved my soul. Right? So the universe is is what my mental health is, a methodological universe of the Trinity that I support, Trinity Yahweh, and that's my mental health universe. And I tell people it's not about religion; it's about coming into agreement with your oath of committing yourself into your right, correct religion. You know what I'm saying? And I think about that stuff. And I said, when you submit yourself to your religion, you submit yourself to a religion that you feel comfortable in. Is I'm not judging your religion. I'm not judging you, but you got able to accept the fact that if a person comes into a studio for you to feel welcome and judged, you don't need to be judged to feel welcome. You need to be accepting for you to commit yourself into a right division of the right tool. I could write music and I could serve Yahweh, yeah. And I tell people, they ask me who I work for, and I'm going to tell you who I work for on camera, and I'm going to say to you who I work for. I work for a community producer of Yahweh of Mental Health Universe, and that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about people telling me how to run things, because I can run my own life. You know what I'm saying? But the patterns of principle, that significant sign of my universe of mental health, I'm serving who I'm serving. But if a person have a problem with that, that's my life. You can't put together what it is that you're doing and how you're gonna set aside your doubts. And this is what it is. The importance of your mentor is coming to agreement with your own style of worship. I tell you, my style of worship is hood. No, let me go for it. My style of worship is hood. I could do the hood rap. I could do the hood rap. That's what it is. My style of worship is hood. You know what I'm saying? But my style of worship is the Yahweh hood. You know what I'm saying? But I could serve my Yahweh hood for me to be sober minded. I'm gonna power up my commitment to the hood of Yahweh methodological religion, and that's what I'm gonna believe myself in. People ask me, I like how you talk, man. I say, yeah, you like how I talk, but I'm gonna put it to you in a principle talk. You feel me? I'm gonna put it to you in a vision talk. I'm gonna put it to you in a Yahweh virgin talk. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna keep it real. But I'm gonna be understanding. I'm gonna be understanding of my focus of Yahweh is for me to build up my tool, it's for me to learn my facts, and for me to build up my life, for me to be what? Sober minded. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm not sober minded in my lifestyle, I'm not gonna be sober minded at all. But if I put together my facts and I put together my lifestyle, it's for me to build up my faith in what I believe in and what my universe is. And my state of mind is like this, all right? So my state of mind is that the most important sign of oath of my faith is to agree myself into the Lord of the rights of my universal mental health. And I'm gonna give you the five things, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna give you the five things. I'm gonna continue on. All right. So actually four things. So number one, write this down. Power of commitment is to trust your heart. Equals accomplishing your faith institute of making your life better equals the development of your oath of mental health equals learning the process of knowledge of your surroundings. Giving your kids an agreement to sign equals mental health is to sensational of a vow of your values equals seeking the following values of mental equals exchanging your thoughts or benefit in mental health. Number three, being faithful to each other is letting someone talk, you listen, equals being respectful of and being patient with yourself and your patterns. Equals making a commitment is to do the right thing, equals helping someone who's in need of help. Number four, exchanging commitment, particularly your principles, equal exchanging your commitment, particularly your values, equals true love values, commit values to have self-respect, equals true respect, meaning loyalty and mental health. Right? All right. I like this part right here. And we got 41 minutes, and we're gonna go into it. So yeah, so I like this part right here. Exchanging commitment, particular to your patterns, your principles. And I'm going to answer this question because a lot of people answer this question for me. Exchanging my values of my principle is exchanging my values of my principle is committing and disciplining my boundaries. One thing, I told my dad, I would like to do a one-on-one with him on one of my episodes. Coming soon. I'm gonna be streaming here. I'm gonna invite him to come on the show, and I'm gonna talk to him about me and as a father to father figure. You learn that when you build up your life, you learn how to develop yourself in a different mental health state of mind, and some things that you have to understand and learn about being able to understand parenting. You know what I'm saying? And parenting is that to expect the greater in your life is to better being a parent. My dad became a father at 18. Actually, he was 18 when he became a father to me. And he used to work for UPS, and he still worked for UPS. And he used to drive a truck. And when he used to drive a truck, my mom used to help him out in school. Used to tutor him back in the day. And my father didn't understand because my father suffered with the same disability as me. And my dad didn't understand certain things. But now when I see the universe of my mental health, he did not know. He didn't understand my lifestyle. He didn't understand why I like to wear boy stuff. He didn't get it. So when I came on the show and I came out to my dad on October 27th on 2024, I came up to my father and I said, Dad, I'm a heterosexual man. I like girls, Dad. Like, And he said, I respect, I love you. And I said, yeah, you love me. But at the end of the day, he had to understand why I did it. And I'm gonna tell him why I did it. And he's listening to my show. So why I did it? Because being able to exchange commitment is particularly my values of how I did it. It equals true love and values, committing values of to have respect. And the truth about self respect is about it's about self respect of a mental health. It's about self respect. And for me to be sober minded in my mental health, and for me to be sober minded in my disability. At certain times, a lot of people don't have respect for your disability. They treat you like crap because you have a disability. And it's like when you don't have addiction, when you don't feel the happiness of your heart to be cured, be so minded and be cured in your mental. If you to build up your understanding of what it is that you're more thankful for and you're grateful for in your mental, and this is what it is. I'm gonna be freely free. I'm gonna be like understanding my life, and I used to have I was fighting an addiction for 6 years. I used to party and drink back in the day, and I was in a toxic relationship with my ex-girlfriend. I used to date a Trinidad woman named Treasure, yeah. And when I was dating her, me and her got into a toxic relationship where the relationship got physical, where we used to fight each other all the time, argue. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to set the disciplinary of my relationship to remove myself from that. So I started suffering depression. And when I met my baby mother Neffy, I met her after I broke up with my ex girlfriend Treasure. I met Neffy through a mutual. I met Neffy through a family member. I think with my auntie Karen, she introduced me to Neffy. Yeah, and she said, she will help you lead you to your Yahweh pathway. I'm like, yeah, and when I met her, I was drinking, partying. I couldn't stop. I started gaining weight in my face. My belly used to be this big. You know, I used to come in the salon depressed all the time. I used to wear holes in my pants, holes in my sneakers. People thought that I was living homeless, And and to make the situation better, I had to work on myself. So what I did when I met Neffy was like it was I felt the connection of prayer right there. She prayed, She prayed for me to get better. She prayed for me to be so mind. She prayed for me, and that's one of the things I want a relationship is a prayer relationship, a prayer type of relationship with her. And I said like a prayer a type of relationship. I said to people, you don't understand what I'm been through, and you wasn't in my shoe to go through that because I grew up with a single mom. You feel me? My father walked out when I was 9, but he didn't understand how to become a parent. You know what I'm saying? But I learned by build my universal mental, I have to stay in my grind for me to levelize myself, for me to understand my positive principles. And I shared this story before, And I said that when I came out, my nephew didn't understand it at first. She's like, why you dress like this? Why you act like this? Why you doing this and that? And I'm like, this is my lifestyle. If you don't respect it, then you could dub it out. You could leave. You know what I'm saying? So me and my ex girlfriend got into an argument, a lot of fights, and she didn't accept me for it because I was dressing like something was wrong. Her parents were thinking that I was living a gay lifestyle, and that was not what it was. You know what I'm saying? And they discriminate me. They was like, "Yo, you're living a gay lifestyle. You need. I don't allow this in my household. This and that." My family used to thought that I was living a gay lifestyle. I said, "No, that was never what it was. It was a heterosexual lifestyle because my sexual characteristic behavior was a man." You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in my life I have to build in my commitment to fight the addiction that I was going through. And as mental health, I checked myself into a rehabilitation center. And when I checked myself into rehab, I more felt good about myself. You feel what I'm saying? And I felt like, looking at my life before and looking at my life now, I see the different change. I got rid of food. Food was my addiction. I was addicted to food. So food was my addiction. But my addiction was very rare than food. You know what I'm saying? But I learned that from a fact of building up my mental health is for me to believe in myself to grow. And this is what it is. It's for me to grow in my mental. It's for me to be better. And sometimes when I'm being better in my mental health, it's for me to understand what it is that I'm fighting against. And people look at me and bully me and call me fat and look fatty chumpy, look fatty pants. You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize that I was addicted to the food. I used to come in the living room with two plates of food. I used to we used to go to the store and buy two bowls of sandwiches to eat. You know what I'm saying? Bacon, sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese, and I used to eat 2 plus of sandwich to make me look, I gained a lot of weight when I'm back in the day. Gained a lot of weight. So when I was in elementary school, I was almost 200 pounds in elementary school, and my weight was a ridiculous situation, and I struggled with weight and obesity when I was a kid. And when I struggled with weight and obesity, it made me feel like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do. But my reflection on my weight, it helped me change. And the one person that helped me change was Kiana Charles, and I'm gonna thank her. And I'm gonna say her name again, Kiana Charles. One person that made me change was Kiana. And she taught me how to dress professionally. She taught me how to change my life. Kiana Charles changed my life in a better way of my life. And she taught me certain things that I broke down. And I said, listen, I was facing a demon. I gotta get this demon out. And what she did for me was very nice. She prayed. And this is what it is. She prayed. She was in the office. She started praying because it was what it was for me to get my lifestyle together. It was, I gotta pray. She gotta pray. You know what I'm saying? So she prayed for me. And next thing you know, she saw me 2 weeks ago. I was doing my mental health segment over by Queens. She saw me 2 weeks ago, and she said, "Wow, I cannot believe this is Shamika. I cannot believe it's Shamika." And she looked at me and she said, "No, no, it's not Shamika. This is not Shamika. You lost weight." I said, "Yeah." Because what Kiana taught me is to believe in myself. And thanks to her, I got into digital film mechanic. Thanks to her, I'm in this chair. And she's my supervisor and my manager. And thanks to her, and I just, I feel great. I feel good with my life, bro. I feel good. Like I would never look at my life differently than before. I felt good. You know what I'm saying? I feel more positive than I was before. I never used to care about this. I never used to care about school. But when I got into film school, I cared and I started sharing a story and making my life change. And I shoot a film called Life Journey Changes. And this is the film that I'm shooting coming soon to YouTube. I'm really shooting a series called Life Journey Change, and this is based on a true story about my life, and I'm gonna be documented in a way of thinking, and I'm gonna be doing music. I'm gonna be doing a lot of making shirts and designs. I've been doing that to help my mental health strive. I created my own website called on Bonfire and Linktree.com. I create a website where I link my YouTube videos to it, and you could watch everything that I'm working on and believe in myself that I'm gonna thrive and I'm gonna build. And coming soon, I'm going to be creating an audience where I'm going to invite people to the mental health conference, where I'm going to share my story to the people. And I'm going to tell the people, you could change too. You could be better too. You don't have to be a stuck up dumb. You could be a smarty. You know what I'm saying? You could be that person to make a commitment to change. And this is what it is. It's about change. It's about believing yourself. It's about vision yourself into a brighter future. That's what it's about, change. It's about belief. It's about receiving it differently. And this is what we're going to have change. And Kiana is going to be a part of the conference. She's going to be talking to you guys, and I'm going to be talking as well. And it's going to be a panel with me, her, and a couple of people going to be on the panel. We're going to be talking about mental health, and we're going to be asking questions about what is it that how your story could affect other people, how it's going to change other people to make a different choice. And certain things is about change. It's about understanding the position about change, making the commitment to change. And this is what it is. It's about challenging yourself. It's about about weighing yourself to change. It's about learning how to deliberate your life in a different perspective. And this is what about change, right? It's about learning. It's about creating a reflection of your own life. So this is what it is, right? So we're gonna go. I'm gonna continue. Let's continue because we got some time to finish this up. Let me finish it up real quick. So making wrong decisions can lead you into your addiction that will get you arrested or charged with a criminal record. In your reflection, what is a commitment in your reflection? In your reflection, what is a commitment? Now, remember, write this down. In your reflection, what is your commitment? Right? Right? So that's let me just, you want me to repeat? Okay. In your reflection, what is a commitment? What is your commitment? And what is real meaning of commitment? And to act of commitment is pledging or engaging on self. A pledge that promise to obligate. We make commitments to pay our bills on time. Dedicate dedicate your commitment to a dedicate your commitment, right? You can dedicate your commitment to your mental health and for you to believe in what you are achieving. And why is commitment important? Commitment is crucial in a relationship because it provides a foundation of security that trust and stables allow couples to navigate challenges to build a strong, lasting bond. And it significant a decision to in a relationship to work through difficult together, fostering a emotional connection, right? And this is what it is, right? It's about emotional connection, right? So have you ever committed to make the right decisions about yourself? I like discussion. A lot of people ask me, oh, they want to know my answer, right? You want to know my answer, right? All right, my answer is my answer, right? It's a tough question, but my answer is I feel like in a relationship, commission is very important to help us make the decisions of what we need to achieve in life and how we can grow together in positive environment. I think positive environment is to create your growth, and whatever your growth is whatever your mental health is. And I think that number one, being faithful equals learning the difference between being happy with life or having thoughts that can make mental health grow. Number two, being honest equals accepting who you are. And number three, being loyal equals acknowledging your feelings. And number four, being respectful equals accepting your own opinion. That's what it is, right? hmm So judgment of your own actions, meaning in a relationship, judgment by your actions refers to how your behavior deeds interrupt associate by a partner, which can lead to either positive appreciation or negative criticism that damage the connection. It describes the process and elevate your actions when can create a scene of being misconduct or controlled if the judgments are negative. Understanding the consequences of your decision equals understanding consequences of relationship decision involving considering short-term or long-term effects. Identify risk of discussion outcomes with your partner. If if relates to critical thinking about results, examine both ideal worst case scenarios of accepting personal responsibility for choices that outcomes key respects of values communication openly and setting boundaries at decision impact mental health and self-esteem finance or social circles. The following examples of your art of agreement is equal patterns reconcile equals the level of your confidence. Principle is the ability to make decisions based upon your knowledge. Exchanging your thoughts equals your imagination of your words as a prior source of inspiration. And you know, you know, um, this is the importance of it, right? So the introduction of the episode is of the wall of understanding mental health. The importance of understanding mental is a consequence that your decisions equals understanding understanding your confidence of relationship that involves considering short-term and long-term effects, identity risk of discussion outcomes with your partner. It requires thinking. It requires responsibility. It requires setting boundaries. It requires you to understand and learn how to fix what it means to grow. And you gotta understand examples of commission and submission. It's very important that it's very important that you have to communicate yourself and making right decisions. It's very important for you to grow in your mentor. It's very important for you to respect the negative thought. I tell people you need to respect the person's boundaries and and remove the negative thoughts out your mind for you to grow. And I think that's what it is. You gotta remove the negative mindset for you to believe and build up your mental. And some people, they don't understand to accept the consequences of their decisions. No, let me say that. They don't understand to accept the consequences of their decisions because your decisions can maintain of what your relationship status is and what it is not. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand the outcome of your partner. It requires key steps and values of what it means for you to grow in your actions. And this is what it is. It's for you to grow in your belief and your actions. So that's it for the mental health show today. And we're gonna continue of leveraging your image of your thoughts and powerful tools of belief. And let's go into this real quick because I want to go into this right here. So divide between two groups, equal rights, create your new projects, respect values, repentance, and space and boundaries. Faithful obedience, receive your message and create your profile. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that this message really give you the tools of life. So tune in October. We will be back in the studio for another episode of the Mental Health Show, and we're gonna be back here doing it big. And we're going to be doing it, keeping it real, and keeping the value straight in. And this is what we're going to do as mental health state of mind grows. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night.